Welcome back. Sorry for the delay. We're back. Premier Challenge, Psycho Turtle Collectibles, Gym Challenge. You know the drill. Dennis, Pikachu. Round number 2. We're getting underway here. Once again, exciting teams that we get to see going into this one. A couple of things. We haven't seen a whole lot in the later regulations of Scarlet and Violet, but we will see them now. We have Jonco, Mladinov, and Benjamin Harlan. Jonco with the Raging Bolt, Pincurchin with that Terrain Extender, Iron Hands, Urshifu Rapid Strike, Chen Pao, and Fluttermane. On Benjamin's side, Regidrago, that's a Scarfed Regidrago, Farigiraf, Urshifu Rapid Strike, Rillaboom, Tornadus Incarnate, and Metagross. A couple of things we just haven't seen a whole lot. The Regidrago's fallen off just a little bit. Usually, don't necessarily see it with that Choice Scarf, but we're seeing it here with that Metagross as well. I know Metagross was kind of a option that a lot of people were liking going into Regulation F as something that could really handle Fluttermane with that Bullet Punch, but kind of fell off. This is a banded, Choice Banded Metagross, so it'll do some serious damage with those Bullet Punches. But I think the star here for sure is that Pincurchin. The Terrain Extender, Electro Web, Discharge, Toxic Spikes, and Thunder Wave is going to have that electric terrain up pretty consistently. The Rillaboom will be able to overwrite it with the Grassy Surge. We have 2 Surges here. The Rillaboom does not have U-Turn. It has high horsepower alongside Woodhammer, Grassy Glide, Fake Out, so it can't just do damage and switch out, but it can switch out. That Assault Vest. Jonco leading with the Chen Pao and the Urshifu Rapid Strike. On the other side, Farigiraf and Metagross. Should be a clear speed advantage for Jonco. This is Chen Pao with the Focus Sash, so it will be able to take a hit from the Metagross if it goes for a Bullet Punch. And past that, this is going to be some serious damage unloaded by Urshifu and Chen Pao, depending on what they decide to go for. Can't go for the Sucker Punch because of that Armor Tail on the Farigiraf. Going to be a Protect onto the Chen Pao and a Taunt onto the Farigiraf. Interesting first turn, very defensive. Farigiraf will go for the Dazzling Gleam. That'll do a lot of damage to that Urshifu. Safety Goggles will take the hit. It's Terra Fighting. Don't necessarily often see that on Rapid Strike. Heavy Slam aimed into the Chen Pao, going to be fine. Now this means that Urshifu is potentially in some danger here against that Metagross. Bullet Punch might be able to finish it off. It'll certainly be close. Could be a definitely resist. Might 4 times resist. Sometimes you forget the chart. Chen Pao, Sucker Punch, Armor Tail, not going to allow that one. Close combat into the Metagross. Not going to pick up the knockout. Going to do a lot of damage, but not enough there. And the Metagross, I'm gonna wait. Dazzling Gleam. Lots of damage to both these targets, and it should pick up a double knockout for Benjamin here. With whatever Metagross goes for. It's locked into Heavy Slam, so it's got to go with Heavy Slam. But yeah, that Bullet Punch wasn't coming out, but would have been fine anyways. There it goes. Chen Pao down. And Benjamin with the first 2 knockouts there in game number 1. See the switch in now. Iron Hands. And our good friend Pincurchin. The Electric Surge. Rain Extender will also lengthen the duration of that Electric Surge and raise Iron Hands' attack. Metagross is still locked into Heavy Slam. It will still be fairly slow. These are 2 slow Pokemon on Jonco's side as well, so the Farigiraf might be one of the faster things. It does not have Trick Room. Direct Helping Hand, Psyshock, Dazzling Gleam. The Rillaboom will come in, reset the terrain. Sets it for the rest of the battle. No more Quark Drive, no more Electric Terrain. Terrastal coming through. I believe that's Benjamin's. No, it's Jonco's on the Iron Hands. Terra Grass. Paragraphs with Assault Vest, Fake Out, Drain Punch, Iron Head, and Wild Charge. Iron Head over Heavy Slam. Psyshock going to be used. No longer super effective. Going to do an okay chunk of damage there. Do some damage back with the Life Orb. Drain Punch into the Rillaboom. Would have been the Metagross before. Would have probably finished off the Metagross. Going to get some healing back. Iron Hands will be able to sit here for a while. Electro Web going to get that nice little speed control now. Iron Hands should be one of the faster things on the battlefield right now, although it is susceptible to the Rillaboom Fake Out this turn. For Giraffe, shakes off the taunt. It's Protect Helping Hand, so be able to protect or Helping Hand now. But now the issue for Jonco, where does the damage come from on your team? Does Pincurchin have enough damage to support this Iron Hands? Does Iron Hands have enough damage to do much here? Metagross coming back in here, Fake Out into the Iron Hands. Was the other fastest thing. I'm gonna see the Thunder Wave into the Rillaboom, so lots of speed control on this Pincurchin. Definitely going to be able to slow a lot of things down, slow this pace of this battle down. At this very slow pace, even without terrain, there's a serious chance that Jonco can pull something out of this. See here, Metagross with the knockoff. It'll take off the Assault Vest. Lots of damage onto that Iron Hands. The Drain Punch in return will not finish off the Metagross. We'll do an okay chunk of damage. We'll heal a bit back. No more Assault Vest. See how impactful that is. Wood Hammer. Good damage, about 2/3 of the HP bar for Pincurchin. Electro Web will just finish off Metagross. It does indeed. So the Metagross is finished off. Rillaboom going to be at -2 speed now. No more Assault Vest for Iron Hands is critical though, certainly for a Giraffe and potentially a Regidrago in the back, as we see now, the Regidrago going to be in a good spot. I think the Regidrago's Dragon Energy might be able to finish this one off right now. And we'll see the Terra. It might be the Terra Dragon Regidrago. Just go all out on the damage here. Finish this one off now. It is Scarfed. I think it would be faster anyways, but it is Scarfed. There's the funny Regidrago hat. And indeed, we'll see the Dragon Energy. Will it be enough? It will indeed. Benjamin with game number 1. Nice pivoting around there. Certainly an early mistake going into the Armor Tail with the Sucker Punch. We'll see if Jonco is able to switch things up a little bit there, because it felt like Benjamin really had control of that battle most of the time. The early taunt didn't do too much to Benjamin. I don't believe he ever tried to use a non-attacking move. Use a status move even. With that for a Giraffe. And meanwhile, the Metagross, it was good to get the Metagross into Heavy Slam. I wonder if it would be better for Metagross to go to lock into Bullet Punch sooner, but I like that lead from Benjamin. Getting things set up for the Regidrago later on in the game. This is a very slow team from Jonco, all things considered. It's not... Fluttermane, Urshifu, Rapid Strike, Chien-Pao all have their speedy elements, but when push comes to shove, the core of this team can be pretty slow a lot of the time. Let's see if they change things up at all. Again, we didn't see the Fluttermane or the Raging Bolt in game number 1 for Jonco. Benjamin, we did not see Tornadus or Urshifu. The Regidrago is the 4th in the back. Definitely taking his time a little bit, Benjamin will. This Raging Bolt is Booster Energy. That will be Booster Special Attack, as often going to see with Raging Bolt with how high that special attack is. I'm not even sure how possible it is for it to not boost its special attack. Thunderclap, Protect, Dragon Pulse, and Rising Voltage. Rising Voltage with that Electric Terrain will be pretty substantial. think the big issue here, and the big issue with Jonco's team in this metagame, is Rillaboom always can come in with that Grassy Surge and limit what you can do with the electric terrain. Pincurchin not necessarily the best at supporting a lot of this playstyle. We'll see this now. Electric Surge coming through. Will not boost the Raging Bolt with anything in particular. There's the booster energy. That'll boost the special attack. But the electric-type moves, regardless, will be boosted for Raging Bolt in electric terrain. Now, if the Rillaboom can come in here reasonably safely, it would be an opportunity to really block what this Raging Bolt can do, because its Thunderclap is blocked by Farigiraf. Its Rising Voltage is heavily weakened by taking away the terrain. And we'll see the Farigiraf swap out, and we'll see Rillaboom come in. So we do indeed get the terrain overwritten. This could be a terrain battle, how these players might be pivoting in and out of the terrain. This Thunderclap is the choice into the Rillaboom slot. It must have been. Interesting call there up against the Armor Tail. See Electro Web come through to slow things down a little bit. That Psychic Fangs did a lot of damage also to that Raging Bolt. It will take it down in one more, and the Raging Bolt will struggle to... The Raging Bolt will get one more attack off for sure. Does have Fake Out to worry about, though. And a Fake Out Psychic Fangs could very easily clean up the Raging Bolt. See Pincurchin swap out. Chen Pao is going to come in. This could be pretty dangerous. Well, Raging Bolt was already going to take a lot of damage, so lowering its defense further is not going to be horrible. No Fake Out from the Rillaboom. Critical hit on the Dragon Pulse. Psychic Fangs attacking the Chen Pao slot. And high horsepower, that should finish off Raging Bolt regardless. Still, not a bad turn, all things considered, for Jonco. Able to... Well, the Pincurchin isn't going to provide too much, I believe, in the later parts of the game. We'll see what the last Pokemon is. Yeah, I don't think Pincurchin's going to do all that much for this. But this does now mean you can get the electric terrain up again. It's probably better than the grassy terrain being up. You don't necessarily need these Pokemon to get a lot of HP back. Question here, can Jonco find an avenue to keep Chen Pao standing? Rillaboom's going to swap out, so Rillaboom's going to try to get that grassy terrain up once more. Farigiraf comes back in, that'll block the Sucker Punch attempt with the Armor Tail. Nice swap in there from Jonco. Psychic Fangs this time onto Pincurchin. Not going to finish it off. Thunder Wave misses the Farigiraf. Unfortunate there for Jonco, but the setup from Benjamin has been good, and this could be enough to really swing this all the way in Benjamin's favor. Metagross is going to swap out. Probably a good decision. 1, will be able to overwrite the electric terrain. 2, will be able to switch moves. Been an issue. And at this point, I think a Dazzling Gleam from Farigiraf will do some serious damage. Icicle Crash into the Farigiraf. It could flinch, which could be a good out here for Jonco. It does not. Dazzling Gleam finishes off Pincurchin, does some big damage to Chen Pao. And that puts Benjamin in a very good spot this battle. Last Pokemon is Fluttermane, spoiler alert. We'll see if these two very fast but very frail Pokemon are going to be able to get away with this one. We've seen what the matchup is between Rillaboom, Grassy Glide, and Fluttermane. Rillaboom, Grassy Glide really might be able to finish off this Fluttermane solo. Going to do a lot of damage regardless. And if the Farigiraf is able to stay standing, I think this is going to be tough to get out of. Farigiraf is going to protect too. We'll see the Chen Pao Sucker Punch once again. not going to do anything. It was intended into the Giraffe, but wasn't going to do much regardless. Grassy Glide not going to take down Fluttermane. It'll be the Icy Wind. This is Choice Specs Fluttermane. It's locking itself into Icy Wind long term. Could be a little bit dangerous. Will almost take down Rillaboom, but not going to. Grassy Glide is now probably going to mop up this game. It's going to be difficult for Jonco to find a way out of this one. Icicle Crash, certainly going to continue dealing damage, but Grassy Glide is going to come out, is going to connect in Chen Pao, and now it's just that Fluttermane launching out those weak Icy Winds. It's nice support, but on this spec set, you don't normally see the Icy Wind. It will pick up the KO onto Rillaboom, but you don't normally see that Icy Wind because it doesn't really provide that much in terms of damage. A lot of these spec sets will go for a Power Gem or something along those lines. And the Psyshock from For a Giraffe going to finish this off. Benjamin Harlan with the 2-0 victory in round number 2. We'll continue moving forward in this tournament. We have 5 rounds of Swiss today, so both these players still in it, regardless of the results of the first 2 rounds. Definitely an interesting battle there, seeing that Incursion with the electric terrain. We have seen, that's one of the big issues. We see Quirk Drive as one of the abilities of these Paradox Pokemon, and Iron Hands is a good user of Quirk Drive. There are a lot of good users of Quirk Drive. It's just the problem that they don't necessarily have that great setter for terrain. Incursion trying to do that with the terrain extender. Rillaboom kind of overpowering it a lot of the time. With that, we will take a quick break. We'll be back in round number 3 for more Swiss. Getting later in this. Don't go anywhere.